President William McKinley played a significant role in the history of the Philippines, and his decisions during his presidency had a lasting impact on the country. Did you know that the Philippines was almost renamed the McKinley Islands in honor of US President William McKinley? In this video, we will explore the relationship between the President McKinley and the Philippines, as well as the events that led to the Philippines becoming a US territory. In 1898, the United States went to war with Spain over the issue of Cuban independence. The Spanish-American War, as it was called, resulted in the US victory and the acquisition of several territories, including Puerto Rico and Guam. However, the Philippines, which had been a Spanish colony for over 300 years, posed a more significant challenge for the US. The Filipinos had been fighting for their independence from Spain for several years, and they were not interested in becoming a colony of another foreign power. Nevertheless, the US decided to annex the Philippines, which sparked a brutal conflict between the Filipinos and the Americans. President McKinley's role. President McKinley was in power during this crucial period, and he had to make some challenging decisions regarding the Philippines. Initially, McKinley was reluctant to annex the Philippines, but he was under pressure from politicians and business leaders who saw the Philippines as a valuable market for American goods. In December 1898, McKinley established the Sherman Commission to study the situation in the Philippines and make recommendations. The commission concluded that the Filipinos were not ready for self-government, and that the US should take control of the Philippines to civilize and uplift the people. Based on the commission's findings, McKinley decided to annex the Philippines, which led to a brutal war between the Filipinos and the Americans. The Filipinos, under the leadership of Emilio Aguinaldo, resisted the American occupation and fought a guerrilla war for several years. The conflict resulted in the deaths of over 200,000 Filipinos and 4,000 Americans. Here is a transcript of President McKinley's speech outlining his rationale for annexing the Philippines. When I next realized that the Philippines had dropped into our laps, I confess I did not know what to do with them. I sought counsel from all sides, Democrats as well as Republicans, but got little help. I thought first we would take only Manila, then Luzon, then other islands perhaps also. I walked the floor of the White House night after night until midnight, and I am not ashamed to tell you, gentlemen, that I went down on my knees and prayed Almighty God for light and guidance more than one night. And one night late, it came to me by this way. I don't know how it was, but it came. 1. That we could not give them back to Spain. That would be cowardly and dishonorable. 2. That we could not turn them over to France and Germany, our commercial rivals in the Orient. That would be bad business and discreditable. 3. That we could not leave them to themselves. They were unfit for self-government, and they would soon have anarchy and misrule over there worse than the Spain was. And 4. That there was nothing left for us to do but to take them all and to educate the Filipinos and uplift and civilize and Christianize them, and by God's grace do the very best we could by them, as our fellow men for whom Christ also died. And then I went to bed and went to sleep and slept soundly. And the next morning I sent for the chief engineer of the War Department, our map maker, and I told him to put the Philippines on the map of the United States, pointing to a large map on the wall of his office. And there they are, and there they will stay while I am president. McKinley's decision to annex the Philippines was controversial, and it sparked a debate in the U.S. about imperialism and the country's role in the world. Some politicians and activists, such as William Jennings Bryan and Mark Twain, opposed annexation, arguing that it was against the principles of democracy and self-determination. Others, including McKinley and his supporters, saw annexation as a way to expand American influence and promote American values around the world. McKinley argued that the U.S. had a duty to uplift and civilize the savage people of the Philippines and other territories. Impact on the Philippines. The annexation of the Philippines had a significant impact on the country and its people. The Filipinos, who had been fighting for their independence from Spain, found themselves under another foreign power. The American occupation led to the suppression of Filipino nationalism and the imposition of American culture and values. The U.S. established a colonial government in the Philippines and introduced several reforms, such as building schools and hospitals and improving public health. However, these reforms were primarily designed to benefit the Americans, and many Filipinos felt that they were being treated as second-class citizens in their own country. The U.S. also introduced a system of land ownership that favored American investors and landlords over the Filipino peasants. This led to widespread poverty and inequality and fueled the growth of radical movements, such as the Hukbalahap, which fought against the U.S.-backed government. The U.S. occupation of the Philippines lasted until 1946, when the country finally gained its independence. However, the legacy of American colonialism continued to shape the Philippines and its people for many years.
Conclusion.
President McKinley's decision to annex the Philippines was a pivotal moment in the history of the country and the U.S. It sparked a debate about imperialism and the role of the U.S. in the world and led to a brutal conflict that resulted in the deaths of so many Filipinos and American soldiers. I hope you learned and enjoyed this video. Support this channel by subscribing so I can continue to make videos about the Philippines and Filipinos. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to get notified when we publish our next video, please click on the notification bell. Thank you and see you all in our next video.